Hello everybody, welcome to Monday night video. I am live on Facebook, whether you're watching this on the live session or on the pre-recorded session or on my YouTube channel. Welcome, this is Gretchen Hidell, full-time astrologer, life coach, Reiki master, and so much more. And so I am going to be going over this week in astrology on Monday night, the 19th, October 19th until October 25th. I can't believe we're already almost at the end of October 2020. So welcome everybody. If you're just joining, please go ahead and like this post, share this post, and definitely post your astrological sign. I love to hear what you guys are thinking about and all that good stuff. So we have a lot to talk about. Basically, we're still in the middle of all of this Capricorn energy. It's a lot of energy that we have going on in Capricorn, as you know. And so we're going to be highlighting that again. We had actually the last 2 days, Sunday and Monday of this week, the 18th and 19th, were really busy astrological days. I don't know if you guys have been feeling it. A lot of people have been messaging me that they're like stressed out or, you know, feeling a lot of this energy. So if you're feeling energy, I definitely want to hear about it as well. Tara said, Taurus. Hello, how are you? Corbin said everything's Scorporific. That's awesome. Welcome, Corbin. Tara is Taurus Sun, Scorpio and Cancer rising. Heather, yes, Heather, happy birthday. Happy birthday. It's your birthday. Rita is on tonight. Monica, hello. Leo, Virgo rising and moon. Welcome. Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Katrina, Sagittarius, Gemini rising, Moon, and Cancer. We're going to have a lot of people talk. Man, I love you guys are posting your Sun, your Moon, and your rising sign. I love this. Juliet, Taurus, Libra rising, Moon in Capricorn. There's a lot of people with Capricorn on here. A lot of Taurus energy tonight. It seems like every night we have like a little bit of a theme, and it looks like Taurus, Capricorn is the theme for tonight. Jackie, Virgo, Sun, Libra, Moon, Scorpio rising. So welcome everybody if you're just joining live. So we had a lot of astrological energy. I don't know if you remember last week, I was talking a lot about that. A lot of like squares and contentious energy with Mars and all this kind of good stuff. Now we're moving into Venus is going to be forming some trines this week, and that'll be a positive thing. This week sort of is a little bit more positive, even though it kind of like broke out of the gate with the 1-2 punch here. As far as this week goes, it moves into a little bit for 2020, a little bit lighter energies. I didn't say light. I didn't say rainbows, unicorns, and fairies. I didn't say, you know, fairy dust. I just said it's getting a little lighter this week. People, when I say things are going to be a little bit better, they'll message me angry when it doesn't like work out. Like they're like, oh, you said it was going good and my life sucks right now. How could you do that to me? You know, and I'm like, look, you know, this is just the collective energy that we're talking about here, that's operating behind the scenes. So some of these planets, even, whether they're, you know, the collective energy is like sort of in the connotation of good versus bad, you know, sometimes they'll just still affect us energetically wise. And they might even be hitting some of our personal planets. And if that's the case, that's the case. So, you know, it's not entirely, I can only just give you collective energy of what's going on, but obviously every single person's different. So I hope that helps. Hey Colette, how you doing? Let's see. Oh, Courtney, no sound. I don't know. Everybody else can hear me, Courtney. I think that might just be your thing. You might have to turn it up. So anyway, sometimes exiting and then rejoining works if you can even hear me. Lindsay, Aquarius. Yes. Yeah. Juliet said people can hear. So anyway, so let's get started. So today and yesterday, what has happened? What's been going on? Well, I was talking last week about the 3 squares, the 3 solar squares. So what happened was the sun formed a square. You remember the 3 planets that are in Capricorn, and it's Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn, and also Pallas Athena, but we're not talking about Pallas tonight because there's enough other planetary energy. I don't need to draw in the asteroids, but also Pallas Athena. She's the strategy of war. Just to let you know, she is like the master chess player. She's very smart and strategic in Capricorn, and the sun is also highlighting her as well. But we're going to stick with Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. So the sun was squaring. Squaring is uncomfortable energy, if you remember from last week, and it was still happening as of yesterday even. The sun formed a square, the final square with Saturn on Sunday. So we're going to feel these energies don't just stop and start like a light switch. It's just like over a period of days at a time that we'll feel this kind of energy. So if you had a little bit of a difficult weekend, that's kind of why, because basically the sun was square Saturn. Also, Venus was opposing Neptune. And then today, there's so much to talk about. Today, Mars is forming a square with Jupiter. Now, if you guys remember, not only were there 3 solar squares with the planets in Capricorn, but Mars is forming 3 solar squares with the planets in Capricorn. So we've been having, since August, Mars has been kind of, again, the three planets. Mars was going forward, then it went retrograde, so it hit them again, and then when it goes forward again in December, it'll hit them again. So, oh my goodness, so Mars is forming this square with Jupiter today. Now, what does that mean? Jupiter is expansion, optimism, good luck, good fortune, but Mars is the god of war, and can be contentious and can be angry, can be inflammatory, can be headaches. It's in Aries, so it's in the head area, and all of that stuff. Personally, I'm in Aries, and to be honest with you, I had really high energy all day today. I don't know if anybody else is experiencing some of this, but that's how I'm experiencing it as an Aries myself. I'm really having like kind of almost like hyper energy, and I had some trouble sleeping over the weekend. So maybe that's, how you're experiencing it. Now, I'm in Aries, so this is adding to my fire. What if you're another earth sign, or what if you're a water sign? Well, it might challenge you a little bit. The Aries fire energy might challenge you if you're like a water sign or something. And because obviously fire and water challenge each other. So not everybody experiences these things the same. But if any of you have had some of that increase in energy, let me know. I had a little bit of increase of energy. So Mars square Jupiter is not great for, I don't know how to say it. It's not great for unwinding. It's not great for, just being chill and just letting things be. It's a little bit edgy, aggressive energy. It's very sort of more direct. Remember, Jupiter is an amplifier. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system other than the sun. The sun is obviously the biggest thing, object in our solar system. But basically, Jupiter is right behind it. So Jupiter is huge, and it's the most expansive planet. So it makes whatever Jupiter kind of highlights, touches, interacts with, it makes it feel bigger. So, it's almost like hooking up speakers to a stereo system. It makes the stereo louder. So basically, whatever's kind of going on, it's making it bigger and louder. So if you're having a good day, it's a great day. And if you're having a bad day, it's a terrible day. It's not mediocre energy. It's like kind of like big. It makes us swing in a big way. And so Juliet said she had tons of energy. Oh no, you stacked, I think I can't remember, your first name is Mary, Aries, Mars, and Mercury, and you stacked 2 cords of wood yesterday, but was in agony all night from muscle soreness. Yeah, that's the thing, is we can really underestimate or overestimate what we can do, I should say. Heather, terrible headache yesterday and this morning. Sarah said I was more tightly wound than normal. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, Andrea, hi, and Diane, hello, welcome. So basically that's the thing with Jupiter. It makes it bigger. And by the way, we'll feel this for most of this week. The peak of it was today, but we will continue feeling it as the week goes on. And so it's big energy. Now, the other big player this week, energetically wise, still highlighting all the Capricorn. It's remember I told you guys, it's like kind of whatever gets along with Capricorn right now is sort of determining if it's like gonna go well or not gonna go well, if it's gonna be challenging or not gonna be challenging. And it's kind of like one of those things. Now Venus is in Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign, and it's going to also be highlighting those planets in Capricorn, also an earth sign. So Venus and the Capricorn energy are flowing right now, which is actually a good thing, because we could use some flowing. I don't know about you guys, but I think we need some flow over here. Some good vibes, you know, flowing. Okay, so basically what is going to happen is Venus today is forming a trine with Jupiter also. So I kind of wrote on my astrology updates page by Gretchen Hidell, and that's my professional astrology page on Facebook. If you guys go over there and like it if you haven't liked it. But I post every single day some kind of a post about the day's energies. And so you remember the old saying, all is fair in love and war, you know? Well, love, Venus, war is Mars. And so Venus and Mars are actually both right now hooked into Jupiter. And Jupiter makes it all big. All is fair in love and war, you know? So that's like some big energy. So again, it's not, there's not a connotation here where I can say this is good and this is bad, like very black and white, because hello, life is complicated. But it's big. Whatever it is big. So basically what's happening is those three planets are interacting right now. So if you have a love interest, if you're feeling lovey, I have a lot of people that keep asking me about going on online dating and trying to connect with a partner, because Venus, you know, is romance and Mars is sexuality. So yeah, that's a good time, and it can make it feel really big. The only thing is, first of all, we are in Mercury retrograde. Please do not forget that. Second of all, if you're feeling the big feels and the big loves and the big stuff, maybe wait until this energy's kind of calmed down, because it's almost like, I don't know, I don't want to say falsely making us feel a little frisky, but maybe it is, you know, I mean, that's the other thing. So just remember that we want to kind of, some of these planets are retrograde still, like Mars is retrograde and Mercury's retrograde. So some of these players here are going to be reversing in November. Mercury's going to go direct November 3rd. Mars is going to go direct November 13th. So if we have the big feels all day and all that, I mean, it's ramping it all up. Like my mother just posted, you had the big fires all around, you know, this is a lot of fire energy. My mother lives in Colorado. Let's say a prayer right now for everybody in Colorado, California that are facing these fire situations. It's just terrible. And this is all fire energy. Mars in Aries is fire. So, and it's not going to leave Aries until January. So we're going to be highlighting fire, a lot of fire energy right now. So let's get back to Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and finances. Okay, so she's forming a trine with Jupiter today on the 19th. That's Monday. And then on Wednesday, she's going to form a trine with Pluto on the 21st. And then on Saturday, the 24th, she's going to form a trine with Saturn. Now, people that are classically trained in astrology, they look at trines, they look at squares, they say this is positive, this is negative, trines are good, squares are bad. Except, I don't look at it like that. And I'm going to tell you why. I look at who the players are. Okay, who are the players? And meaning who are the planets that we're playing with? Venus, yay, great. Ooh, Saturn, not so great. Ooh, Pluto, really not great. You know, I mean, okay, the goddess of love and beauty is playing around with Hades, the god of the underworld. You know, I mean, Who's your playmate? Oh, the devil, or whatever you want to call him, Hades. You know, I mean, that's like, so it's almost like saying, Mommy, look, I'm just playing with this hornet's nest over here. You know, you wouldn't be like, oh, go have fun. You know, you'd be like, whoa, use caution, hold on. And so even when planets are positively playing with the hornet's nest, it's still a hornet's nest. So I like to be able to kind of point that out, because some astrologers, they get really like over the top with like, this is the good and this is the bad, and putting these in the good bad category. But I just wanted to clarify that it's not quite that easy. It's a little more complex. So yes, trines are good. Okay, so I say cautiously good. You know, you want to be cautious when you play with the hornet's nest. So on Wednesday, that's when we have Pluto involved with Venus. Now, you want to talk about feelings and emotions and all this stuff. Now, good news is they're both in earth signs. Earth is practicality. We're not losing our head when things are in earth signs, because earth is more grounded in reality. Like if all this was in fire signs, or if all this was in water signs, oh my gosh, we would be off. But so it can be, we're going to be getting into, because the thing is, Venus and Pluto combined are not, that's not like, I feel light and fluffy. And it's also not, I feel totally neutral. Because Pluto is also this sort of extreme energy. Pluto tends to be jealousies and possessiveness. And so if you think about caring, okay, jealousy, you could say, is a toxic form of caring. Being possessive is a toxic form of caring. I mean, yeah, you can care, but you can strangle something to death. And that's like, I love you so much, you can't see any of your friends. I mean, really? That's like, woo, that's too much. So that's kind of that Pluto energy, and Pluto energy can just have that little, Pluto always has that little side of darkness. Oh yeah, Almir, you just said the words right as I was coming out of my mouth, the dark side of love, right? Right. So we want to have that loving without attachment sort of thing, but it's going to be really hard to do when Pluto's around. And who is Pluto's ruler? Well, it rules Scorpio. So the sun is going to be moving into Scorpio this week, and then we're going to be starting Scorpio season. So we're not feeling neutral at all. We're feeling very specific. I mean, Pluto can be very like direct, and Pluto is in some ways similar to Mars, but it's a thing. So she says, Mary said, but isn't Pluto and Jupiter trining Venus? I just explained that, Mary. So yes, they are. And even though it's a trine, and even though it's positive, see, she's a classically trained astrologer where you look at a trine as positive. I don't always see it that way, because I've seen some dark things come from who the players are. You have to look at who the players are. Venus, yeah, she's great. Pluto, no, not so fun. Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth and transformation. Oh yeah, Phoenix Rise and all that, but I've seen it just be quite dark. So it is the dark side of love. So we could get really intense this week, and we got to watch the intensity. Now, at the very least, Pluto is like kind of a deep psychological dive into feelings here. So how do I feel about this person? And it's like there's going to be a little angstiness around it. Now, it's good to psychologically process things in a healthy way. So if you have a counselor, if you have a life coach, if you have a trusted, spiritual guide such as myself that you can process these things with, great. That's all good. And so... It's one of those things that you just want to make sure that you watch who the players are. And then on Saturday, Venus is going to form a trine with Saturn. That's going to be on Saturday the 24th. Now, there's a little different energy with Saturn. Saturn is all about goals and dreams and make sure you do the right thing. And I always use this very funny voice when I talk about Saturn. Probably some of you have heard that. If you've come to me in sessions, I'm like, because Saturn is the father, and I want the best thing for you, young lady or young man, and it's like, oh boy, here we go. So when you look at Saturn and Venus coming together, Saturn, who is the big daddy, okay? We call Saturn Big Daddy because he's the father, literally, of Pluto and all these other planets, a lot of the planets. Saturn wants to discern, like let's say you were, a young, impetuous 16-year-old and so in love with this person, and Saturn, Big Daddy comes out and goes, where are you going this late at night? And, you're going to hang out with that person. They're not, a good person. And so Saturn is discerning. So we might learn something about a lover, a loved one, a partner on Saturday that kind of makes us look at things sober, a little bit more realistic, where Pluto was kind of having us hash out things. Now we get discipline in with the love zone. Now, what if you're not feeling this in the love area? Remember that that Venus is not only love, okay, sensual love, which it for sure is sensual love, but also it can be platonic love, but also it's finances. So some of this stuff could come up with your financial stuff as well. Again, it depends on where Venus is in your chart. I talked about how we're in this longer cycle of Venus being in picky Virgo. So we're already sort of discerning, well, now Saturday, with it kind of highlighting Saturn, we're going to be looking at even more, like an even more level of discernment. Now, with Saturn, it's quality versus quantity. So it's not about having a date every single Friday night and, having tons and tons of suitors and people who are trying to vie for your attention. But if you get one during that time, usually it's like one that's more of a quality person, because Saturn doesn't like a lot of shenanigans. Saturn wants the best for you, young lady or young man, So that's the thing of it. So you have to look at Saturn. Now, here's the fun thing about Saturn and Venus when they come together. Saturn and Venus, when they come together, often is a time of commitment, and kind of wanting to have that bond and wanting to have that commitment. Saturn, in fact, when it transits around the chart, when Saturn enters the 7th house of marriage cycle, and I'm talking about the transiting Saturn, so if it's like transiting your area of marriage, sometimes I've seen Saturn even produce people getting married for like those practical, logical reasons, like you need health insurance or somebody else needs a 401k thing. And it's kind of funny that Saturn's like very practical, like let's build for the future and we need to get our nuptials to do that, that Saturn can be that way. Not super drippy romantic, right? But it's practical romantic, I guess, and building a life with somebody and all that stuff. So that comes on Saturday. So remember, quality versus quantity on Saturday over the weekend, and that you want to look at your love life in a little bit more of a practical, sober sort of way. I know it kind of sucks the romance out of it a little bit, but hey, sometimes it's good to do that, to take that like sort of objective sort of look at things and not be so emotionally tied like we are going to be in the beginning of this week, especially when Venus forms a trine with Jupiter and a trine with Pluto. We won't be as subjective then. We'll be all in the feelings with Pluto, and looking at things in a very sort of deep, analytical way. We'll want to like kind of find out the secrets and stuff like that. Let's face it, I've seen clients go full on stalker during during Pluto things and Scorpio things actually. Going through people's Facebook profiles, and I went through his phone and I saw this message, and that's all Pluto stuff, I'll tell you. It's just sort of interesting, but that's kind of what ends up happening. So let's see, I have a bunch of, hey Sheila, welcome. Sheila from Arizona. Lori, thank the universe I have you. I love that, girl. Let's see. Tara said, I'm in love with a Scorpio man and I'm a Leo, but there are so many obstacles. Not sure how this will ever work. Yeah, I mean, that obviously I'd need to know like a full person's chart, but Leo, on paper, Leo and Scorpio is a little rough of a combination because they're both fixed modality, and we both can be stubborn, Scorpios can be stubborn and Leos. And they both want to be in charge, really. They like to be in control. So it's kind of like, okay, Jane Moonwolf said, it's kind of like Lakshmi picking Rama, god of stability. Exactly. Totally. So let's see. So maybe not a good time to, sit people down for a follow-up meeting. Well, right now we have Mercury is retrograde. So any kind of communication right now is going to be a little wonky. If you have to have a sit down, like if it's something that has to be done ASAP and can't wait until after November 3rd, if possible, I would wait till next week when both Mercury and Venus enter Libra. Libra is all about being nice, balance, fairness. Let's get along. Let's do mediation. Let's have a plan. Where this other energy is a little bit more intense, we'll just say. It's a little intense. So we are going to be entering, so I keep talking about Pluto. We're going to be entering Scorpio season. So that's going to happen on Thursday, the 22nd at 7 p.m. Okay, the sun will enter into Scorpio. And so we are going to be having that time of year. It's the time of year where we go into deep, ruled by Pluto, so deep psychological processes. Now, in old-time astrology, classical astrology, actually Mars was the ruler of Scorpio, but before we discovered Pluto, there was Mars, and Aries and Scorpio shared Mars. Now, Aries has Mars and Scorpio has Pluto, but remember, they're both the god of war, right? I mean, they're kind of warriors. Aries and Scorpio are both warriors. So it's just they fight differently. Okay, so just to let you know the difference, Aries goes, burr, 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 burr. I'm going to get you. I'm getting you. I'm going to attack your camp. I'm coming to get you. Loud and just, angry. Where Scorpio's like, fall asleep. Just go to bed. And then they bomb your camp in the middle of the night. It's that kind of thing. I never looked it up, but I always felt very strongly that like Vietnam War was kind of scorpionic because of how the Vietnamese fought during that war with like the secret bombings and like, the landmines and the booby traps and all that kind of stuff feels very scorpionic to me. I don't know, maybe some of you might know about the Vietnam War, the astrology of the war, but Corbin said, when I have to fight, I wait. Yeah, you do. And so that's kind of an interesting thing. So we have a lot, of stuff happening. So when we get into the season of Scorpio, okay, we are going to be looking at, and I thought I had one here. Oh, I do. Bloodstone actually is great for the sign of Scorpio. Bloodstone is like, it kind of almost has like these dark green and sort of like red little sort of flecks in there. Okay, and carnelian as well. I don't have a carnelian with me, but all those like sort of lower chakra kind of, root chakra type stuff, safety, survival, all that kind of thing, because remember that Scorpio is the most regenerative sign. It is associated with the sexual organs, so prostate and, ovaries and uterus and all that good stuff. It rules over that sort of area. People with a lot of Scorpio in their chart often have, those problems in that department, like PMS or, having enlarged prostate or things like that. So Scorpio definitely rules over that area of the body. And Scorpio is all about, remember, it's the lord of the underworld. It's ruled by Pluto. So it's, secrets and it's research and it's all kinds of stuff. It is a fixed sign, so meaning that it's fixed, it's stubborn, like Leo or Taurus or Aquarius. Any of those are the fixed signs. So if you're a fixed sign, you will feel this energy very strongly. I'm finally saying something other than feeling cardinal signs. Fixed signs will feel that very strongly. And so that's Scorpio season. And if you think about Scorpio, Scorpio is like the mysteries of the world and mysteries of the planet. So I personally love Scorpios. I have a lot of Scorpios in my life. And they all kind of like that deeper, sort of mysterious kind of energy. And I don't feel like there's any, sort of mistake that Halloween falls during Scorpio season. All Saints Day, All Souls Day, Day of the Dead, Veterans Day, all these sort of holidays that are about remembering the deceased, remembering our loved ones, is Scorpio season. Because it is about the afterworld and the underworld and the world that we kind of can't see, feel, hear, or smell. That the see, hear, and feel and smell stuff is Scorpio's opposite sign, Taurus. Okay, so if you think about when you look at the opposition of those two signs, Scorpio and Taurus, that's really a big difference between them. Scorpio likes the whole mystery, like what you can't see, hear, and smell, like, kind of figuring out puzzles, detective work, and yes, like I said, stalking people on Facebook or, kind of doing all kinds of stuff like that. I find that Scorpios are very, very, very good at research. Usually they're very hard workers, very typically, and they can be very loyal people. When they're naughty, they're really naughty. I have found that, but a lot of Scorpios are pretty cool people. Let's see. I was 3 days and nights sitting vigil with my elder friend 91. Oh, she passed over early Saturday. I think it was a gentle passage, but a little disruption when a mutual friend arrived shortly after she passed. Any insight? I will answer that question, Monica. Jennifer said, I have a few Scorpio family members. Holy wow, just when you think the dust settled, watch out, laugh out loud. Yes, Scorpios, though, I think are generally fun people. Okay, so we have that going on, and that's going to be the start of a 1 month. We call it the season, Scorpio season, but that's going to be a 1 month, thing until next month. When we move into Sagittarius on the 21st, and that'll be Sagittarius season. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is that on Friday, we're going to have the second quarter lunar cycle. Okay, so this is the halfway point between new moon and full moon. It's the 1 week kind of in between, and it's called the quarter lunar cycle. It's really a half moon where half of it's lit and half of it's dark, and that's the time for reassessing what's going on. Now, it's going to be 0 degrees Aquarius. So if you know where 0 degrees Aquarius falls within your astrological chart, again, a fixed sign. So if you are a fixed sign, Aquarius or Leo, you will definitely be feeling this. Taurus or Scorpio, also feeling this. These are fixed signs. And that's going to be at 9:23 a.m. Eastern time on Friday, the 23rd. Earlier than that, if you're on the West Coast, it's 6:23 a.m. if you're on the West Coast. Okay. And so this is the halfway point between the new moon and the full moon. Full moon is the time when we manifest whatever it was that we, we're trying to get on the new moon. So basically what we want to do is we want to look at Friday as the halfway point. So what needs fixing? So if we were farming, remember, new moon, you planted your new seeds. That was last week on the 16th, and that was new moon in Libra. How did you guys do with that new moon, by the way? I thought it was not fun. The last new moon was very challenged by a lot of the planets, and it was a contentious new moon. But anyway, I remember Friday was like kind of a weird day. But anyway, now we're going to be at the halfway point between harvest, or between planting the seeds and harvesting. So if you were a farmer, you would be looking at the field going, what do we need? Do we need to fertilize? Do we need more sunlight? Do we need more water? What do we need to do? And so think about Friday as kind of like a reevaluation of things. There's always like a little sometimes there's always a little crisis around the second quarter lunar moon. Astrologers use the word crisis. I like to say it's like a reevaluation moment, like where maybe something pops up that we need to kind of tend to or take care of. And that's going to, again, be in the astrological sign of Aquarius. So yeah, a lot of energy, just a lot of energy. Aquarius is all about humanitarian efforts. Boy, we sure could use some humanitarian efforts right now. I'll just say that. Okay, and then Sunday, last but not least, we're going to have, there's a point every Mercury retrograde where Mercury was traveling fast in front of the sun. And then because it retrogrades, it meets the sun again and then falls behind the sun. That's kind of like, when that happens, that's also another halfway point. Okay, so where I was just talking about a lunar halfway point, now I'm talking about a mercurial halfway point, and that's going to be on Sunday, October 25th at 2:23 p.m. Eastern Time. So when Mercury falls behind the sun, and that means it's really now slowed down. Okay, Mercury retrograde is really slowed down, and we're feeling it real slow. When it hits, I shouldn't say hit, but when it conjuncts the sun, that means it's extra energy in that department. So again, that's going to be in Scorpio. Okay, so because the sun already went into Scorpio, so then it's going to be hitting that. And then that day and that point over the weekend will be a time of a lot of talking, communicating, writing, texting, and maybe even things breaking down and all that. Like, in other words, we'll feel the retrograde, okay? The retrograde will be kind of much more active, this Mercury retrograde. So if you're a Scorpio, you'll be feeling this for sure. If you are a mercurial ruled sign, Gemini or Virgo, you will feel this for sure. So that's going to be over the weekend, and that's just something that's good to know. But it's also good to know that it's halfway over. Let's look at the cup as half full instead of half empty. The Mercury is half over. So Mercury retrograde. Of course, there's the shadow period. Everybody's going to write to me, but the shadow period. Yes, I know about the shadow period, but I'm talking about the actual retrograde itself. It will be halfway over by that point, and that's going to be on Sunday the 25th. So yay! I know Emily. Hey Emily, how you doing? That's very, very good. Okay. Oh no. Gretchen said, your mom, Scorpio, waited over 20 years to get revenge on someone who did her wrong. Oh yeah, no, Scorpios can wait and wait and wait. That is like their thing. And you have Mars in Scorpio. That's very cool. That means you act Scorpionic, Gretchen. And Lori said, daughter's daycare provider quit on Friday. Terrible day. That was new moon. Yeah, this new moon was a little contentious. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. That's yucky. Okay, so thank you, by the way, everybody who's joining me. We have 33 people live tonight. Like and share with your friends. Please post below if you have any questions. Tag somebody if you know somebody that's interested in watching this free broadcast. I do this every Monday night ever since COVID started, to connect with everybody, to reduce feelings of like kind of loneliness, to spiritually check in. I mean, a lot of us are not going to churches and synagogues and different things like we used to, or praying or chanting or doing whatever, but at least we can connect on here and do a little spiritual touch in what does the universe want for us, and all of that good stuff. That was my intention behind doing these videos, is to like just connect with people. And I love sometimes you guys talk to each other on here, which is awesome, and just like I love having the connection also with you guys. I think that's fun. So Monica, I wanted to talk about your friend that had the passing. It's a little soon to connect, I'll just be honest, but I'll just do a little card for you about your friend, what he needs to know about the friend that passed, just to say hi. Astro Church of Gretchen, I love that. The Church of Astrology, I love it. I am a minister, you guys, so and it stinks because I marry people, I mean, I love marrying people. I usually do a lot of wedding ceremonies all through the year, especially summer, and I couldn't do it this year. I mean, it's just, with COVID and stuff, it's just been kind of crazy. So, all right, so, I want to pull a card for Monica. She asked about a friend who passed over. If there's anything this friend would like to say or a message that she would like to relay to Monica. Oh, interesting. 2 cards came out. Okay. So one is laughter. I think she's fine, honey. Be honest with yourself. Okay. I have to tell you that I don't really feel like she was in her body at the time that there was the disruption with the friend. Like, it doesn't feel like it was like she was totally there, like in, like that the soul was in the house, the meaning the house is the body. I wasn't feeling like, I feel like she was already lifting out, and I am getting a lot of respiratory stuff. I don't know if she had a respiratory problem or some kind of a problem with her lungs or some sort of breathing thing, or if just at that time there was a disruption with breathing with her. But I want to say that I don't feel like she was totally in her body. And I feel like the laughter card is awesome because I feel like she's fine. Like, in fact, I kind of feel like she would want you to definitely be, celebrating and not be sad. I just kind of feel like she was that type of a person, that she wouldn't want to like dwell on negative or bad things necessarily. Like, she wanted people to be happy and uplifted, almost like she just didn't, want you to dwell there. So I hope that helps, Monica. But she's a little soon. She's over. She's definitely over the other side. I feel like she crossed over just fine, but she's like in her cocooning period, whatever. There's like this period of time when someone crosses over, where they kind of cocoon a little bit, and they kind of sort of reacclimate into when they're fully into spirit after they shift out of physical. So I feel like she's still in her like period where she's acclimating, but I mean, I feel like she's totally crossed over, that there wasn't a problem. So I hope that helps, Monica. I don't know if you're still on, you can post below, but your friend feels like she's totally fine. And it's like, I'm light, look, I'm fine. Like, that's kind of the way that she's showing me. But I do feel a lot of, like, I want to take a breath. I want to take a breath with her. Like, there was like some breathing problem. Oh, Sarah, praying for your friend Monica. Yes. Yeah, we can all say a prayer just in even our heads and just like, send her the love. But she feels like she crossed over good, in a good way. Monica said spiritual check-in, love this. I love that. Draw a card for the Scorpios. Yes, I will definitely. Tara, just send me a DM. I am a little slow right now on the DMs. I'm trying to get back to everybody. Hello, everybody who is joining. Please shed light on a grandson who is undergoing an identity crisis. Okay. Darlene, wild ride lately. Yeah. Laughter is a trademark. Oh, I think you mean her trademark. Yeah. Yeah. She feels like she's fine. Like, that's what she wants to focus on, not on that other stuff. It's like almost like she doesn't want to talk about that part of her. Some spirit, that's all they talk about is their crossing, their passing, how it happened, what happened, because it's like the last thing they went through, and they just kind of share. The other thing about when I do my mediumship work that I like to tell people is like, hello, we all come in the same way, pretty much. Like, yeah, everybody's got different birthing stories, but we all kind of come in the same way. But when we leave, we all leave different. And I don't know, when spirit connects with me, sometimes they will go into great detail about like the last few years of their lives. Like if they were sick or they had problems or whatever the thing is, they'll talk a lot about it. But the funny thing is, Monica, your friend didn't want to even talk about that. It was just like, nope, let's not dwell. We're not going to dwell. Like, that's how your friend felt to me. Okay. Please shed light on your grandson who's undergoing an identity crisis. So I will pull a card for your grandson. Yeah, there's a lot there. I mean, I'm just doing a mini thing, but there's a lot. Now, I know this card looks scary, but this is actually the card of patience, Mary. So I feel like we have to have patience. There's also a lot going on with love and romance, or wanting to have somebody, or somebody that's unavailable, I almost feel like. So your grandson might be like very focusing on that right now, but also is going through this big thing because they're alone. And it's interesting because I do want to use like pronouns with this person, so I don't know if there's like some kind of an identity thing going on around even that, but I want to use pronoun, like I want to use like neutral pronouns like they and them, but whatever the case is, like they want love but they can't because I don't know, like if it's COVID or whatever, but that's being alone. That's wanting the fabric of life, you know, like kind of being woven together, wanting the connection, but can't connect. So I feel like as if your grandson is gonna be fine, but I feel like you have to also have patience with this. This is gonna be many years long process of sort of trying to figure things out. I feel like they are just in a phase of just, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, it is a transition, but it feels like it's a little while. I mean, I'm almost getting the number 3, so I don't know if that's 3 years. It feels like it's a chunk of time that this person kind of goes through some stuff, but I do think that it ends up working out okay. I just feel like it's just taking time. Like for whatever reason, you keep getting patience. So you have to have patience with the situation. It's hard though. Hard to watch a loved one when you struggle, you know. So I hope that helps. Okay, so let's see what time it is, because, okay, I don't want it to be too long. All right, so, Diane, you're always on here, so I'm going to post one for you. I'll just pull a card for you. How about that? Because you didn't ask a question, so I'll just pull a card. So Diane wants a card. What does Diane need to know? She just wants to know, what does she need to know? What's the most important thing that she needs to know right now about herself, her life? Feel safe, girl. Feeling safe. Okay, this is a fairy card, feeling safe. Working on safety and security, feeling okay, feeling loved, knowing that also safety is an illusion. So, you know, we have to provide our own safety, our own emotional safety. And if somebody's making you feel unsafe or otherwise, or if it's like a job or some kind of thing where you're not feeling safe enough, you need to be able to kind of go in and sort of, you know, in other words, I feel like you can't rely on somebody else right now. You have to rely on yourself to feel safe, to feel loved, to feel connected, and all of that stuff. It feels like there's other people right now letting you down. And I just kind of feel like they're not to be, I don't want to use the word trusted, but maybe not trusted, maybe not reliable. Like you have to provide safety in the form of boundaries, healthy boundaries. You need to be able to kind of like, it's hard when you love somebody or care about somebody to like say no to them or to whatever, but I feel like you kind of have to. I'm just saying that, okay? I feel like you kind of have to. I feel very serious around this. So I want you to be able to connect with your own safety. You might have to say no because maybe the person's not in a good place or whatever, but you know, we can only do what we can do. I mean, if it puts ourselves at risk, that's, you know, drawing the line there. We gotta put a stop to that. I hope that is okay. Mary said he's 21. I feel so for him and for my son, his father. Yeah, Mary, he's going through something right now. I mean, it is a big thing. He's struggling. I feel that. And I feel like I'm sorry to say it's not going to end like easy schmeezy, but I feel like it's a period of time that he's in that it'll work out. So keep me posted. I hope that helps. Diane said this is so on point. Thank you. Perfect. That's awesome. Let's see. Anybody else? Okay. Andrea. Dad watching over mom. Of course he is. I pull one card for you. What do you need to know about dad watching over mom? What do you need to know about your dad? He is coming around. New opportunity. Do you see her? She's in like a cathedral, a church, or some kind of thing, and she's flying. She's flying. That is basically a very divine card. And new opportunity means that he's always around, but your mom might actually call you and say this and this and this just happened. Like it feels like it's like something is going to be happening soon where he is going to be connecting with your mom. Maybe it's funny, I don't know why, but I'm hearing something about a book. So I don't know if he flips the book on the floor or she reads this book and she knows, or some kind of a thing. I actually have a book that I want you to read, so I'll text you and let you know the title, but I think it'll be good for you. There's a book called Signs, and I can't remember who the author is. I think somebody else on here was reading it and telling me about it. But if you could post the information about the book Signs, but I feel like you should read that, or your mom should read that, because that would be really good, because I'm hearing to tell you about the book. But I do feel that your mama is okay. Yeah, yes, sounds like dad. Yeah, he's always with you guys. All right. I want to pull a collective one card for the collective, everybody that's on for the week ahead. What do we need to know? What's the best thing we need to know about the week ahead? Let's do that. And say, what does everybody need to know? We're going into Scorpio season. What do we need to know about all this? And Venus and all this good stuff happening. Let's see, what do we need to know? Ooh, connect, make music. Not only make music, listen to music, chant, meditate to music, have music on in the background, connect to your favorite song, dance, sing. Venus is actually all about creativity. So it's not, with Venus, not just music, but beautiful music. Look, she's playing a harp. Beautiful music. So this week we want to connect to our inner divine divas. Venus was Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty. So we want to connect with our creative side, specifically music, but any kind of creative side. If you're a painter, paint. If you're a photographer, take photographs. If you love to play, listen to, compose music, pick up your instrument. In these heavy times that we've had, and we are having some heavy times, we are going to be having all kinds of stuff happen. So we want to make sure that we connect to our art and our crafts. And yeah, crafting is another thing that's Venus. It doesn't have to just be like oil paintings or some kind of thing like that. It could just be some felt and glue. Like some kind of fun thing that we can do, maybe even with the kids. And if your art is food, if food is your medium, make a beautiful cake or some kind of a thing, whatever you do, okay, that can connect you to art. Make music is all about that. It's about connecting to your inner artist and all of that stuff. I love that card. Jocelyn said, I love that card. Thank you, Gretchen. Well, Jocelyn, you are a Venus-ruled lady, okay? So you are Libra and Taurus are ruled by Venus, by the way. So yes, we want to be able to make art, make love, make beauty, and all of that stuff this week. Just let's not get too intense about stuff. We want to... Okay, I'll just leave you guys with this, because remember that, Amir kind of said it, and I said it too at the same time, which I thought that was so funny, twinsies, is that with Pluto and even Saturn wants to make everything official and so like, rules and boundaries and all that stuff, which can be good. Don't get me wrong, that can be good. But let's not, can't we just be in love? Can't we just connect with love and connect with all that without all of the implications and the rules and all of that stuff? Sometimes we want to control too much with all of these other planets in Capricorn. It kind of makes Venus's love expression a little bit like, I don't know the word, but it's kind of like somber and official, versus just loving, and playing. We want to play with our craft. We want to play with our art. I already filed this way, but we want to play with our art and our craft and all of that stuff. Playing, and remember to keep things light, because remember, this stuff can be very, very heavy. In fact, it can be a little toxic sometimes. So we just want to watch when Pluto comes around. Pluto can be toxic, so we just want to make sure that we're not heading into that department, and we keep it lighter. All right, everybody. I love all of you guys. Please feel free to send me a direct message or better yet, a text message, okay, if you'd like to schedule an astrological session. And I will be back next Monday. Of course, I'm going to be starting to upload additional content on my YouTube channel. So please make sure you subscribe to that, Gretchen Hidell, and also on my Instagram at Gretchen Hidell. Okay, everybody, peace, love, and happiness to all of you. Let's just embrace that lighter, fluffier side of Venus and have a great week, everybody. Namaste.